Hi and welcome to Electric Brop. We are at Flatland. We are attending at the annual Tiurleiken Enduro race. We are doing some different stuff today. I'll start out by talking a little bit about the race, and then we are doing some comparisons with Freeride and the new Stark Varg coming shortly. So, Tiurleiken, I've been racing this thing a couple of years before. A bit different this year as it's simplified enduro race setup, which means we have two different tracks, one small and fast, which I'm at now, and the original long and difficult slower lap or track. Those two tracks together will be a lap, and we're supposed to do 6 laps around this race. We have 3.5 hours to do this on, and yeah, I'm a little bit unsure how much time I actually have. A bit stressed out for having enough time to change batteries, but it turned out that that was not a problem at all. Yeah, this short lap here is about just under 4 minutes long. Not too bad pace on it. Actually catching up with the guy here now. Freeride was working pretty well. I have some new suspension on it. That means I put a gold valve in the chock, and I sprung it from a weight. Also sprung the front fork from a weight. But I did forget to adjust the clickers, so it's a bit hard and harsh on this race now. Hope I didn't scare him too much with my horn. So I brought 3 batteries for Freeride for this race. My intention was to do 2 laps on each battery. Then, nevertheless, I had my charger with me, and I put the first battery I swapped out on charge. Yeah. So, plan worked. I was able to do 2 laps, and I still had some battery to spare. I would guess a battery on the Freeride is about. Look at that! Try to hit the corner next time. I said the battery is about 3.9 kilowatt hours, and I'm guesstimating that I used about 3 of them on 2 laps. So that means I need about 9 kilowatt hours of power to finish this race, at least with the Freeride. I don't think the Stark Varg is that much more efficient, maybe a little bit, but 6 kilowatt hours should definitely not be enough to avoid charging. So that, in my opinion, makes it a bit difficult to use the Varg on this kind of races, unless you have enough time to charge the battery. Another option is to have a shorter race for electric bikes, but I don't think that's the way to go. The electric bikes should be able to compete and do better than the gasoline bikes, if that's the future. So there must be some kind of workaround while we're waiting for better batteries. I'm wondering, is the Stark more efficient than the Freeride at higher speeds? Maybe in that case you use a little bit less power, because Freeride is draining the batteries once you're pushing some speed. Alright, so the first track is done. We are now getting to the original good old Tiurleiken track. Didn't take much time here to take a break, even though I could. So my arms are already pretty tired, and this tractor road is pretty stony or rocky. Doesn't do my underarms any good. Trying to get some speed, get on top of the rocks, avoid the biggest ones. As we get on top here, there's a right turn for what we call the extreme hill, which is really not that extreme, but it is really exhausting to ride up. It's really rocky and really steep. There we go. On this first lap I didn't really get my speed with me on a free ride, so lose a bit of the balance here, and yeah, can't really stall it, but I'm not sure what happened here. And this hill is so steep that there's barely enough power in the free ride to get going again. Always wished for a free ride with about 5 more horsepower. That would be perfect. Well, get the Stark for next year. That will have way more than 5 horsepower, and I'm looking forward to test it. Maybe it's a bit too powerful. Another thing I'm a bit skeptical on, which of course is fixable, is the suspension. It is delivered with the motocross suspension, and I'm excited to see if you can actually adjust it enough for enduro, or if I need to do a revalve. Alright, the worst part is done, but it's still... Alright, so there's still a way up to the top. Still pretty heavy for the arms, but it's getting better. The worst part of the hill is over. So let me know, guys, should I try this race with the Stark next year, or should I do it again with the Freeride? I'm not sure. I think the Stark Varg is really good motocross bike, but I'm not sure if it's yet good enough for an enduro race. But yeah, 3 fast laps around here without break. Maybe I have enough time to charge up the battery for another 3 laps. But that's a gamble. Okay, so we are getting to this little tricky stone. This is a shortcut here that I'm intending to do. See, the other guy is not doing it. Looks worse in real life than on the GoPro, of course, but made it. That's one thing I really like about the Freeride. It's more towards a trials bike than a motocross bike. So it's really good at those steep rocks and stuff like that. And also you are always in the right gear. Okay, so we're on the top now. This is where we're supposed to get some speed, but my forearms is hurting and I'm trying to save some power here. Well, I'm trying to do both, but guess you can't have all. You see it's kind of deep ruts. It's really dry here this year, so you have a lot more speed than you usually do. These ruts, they can eat you alive when they're filled with mud and water. I think I spent about 5 minutes each lap last year just to pull my bike out of those ruts all over this wetland. So, if you compare the times from last year's wet race, I probably had an average about 25 minutes a lap. This year I'm down to 19 minutes or less. It's a huge difference. Might be also be that the difference is that I'm now racing on an electric Freeride and not KTM 250 EXE. I do get more tired in the arms with that thing, but what really gets me on the Freeride is actually my back and neck. Since it's a bit smaller, I don't know, my position on the bike isn't as good as on the bigger 250. And that also, I also get this blisters on my thumbs when I ride this bike. I don't do that when I ride the 250. I do get blisters other places, but not on the inside of my thumbs. Alright, we are riding a little bit downhill now. Trying to save some energy before the last couple of kilometers of this track, which are getting rocky again and a bit demanding power-wise of me and the bike. Well, mostly me, I guess. It's a Marshall. I felt like when we had this kind of a start 10-second separation, I felt like I was driving alone a lot of the time. There's 220 people around here, and yeah, normally you would be passing or being passed. It's not that much of it. Bit confused where the track goes. Should have taken the inside line there. So, in the third lap, there was an accident around here. It's really dry, and one of the bikes caught on fire. That was pretty interesting to try to not let it spread in this dry grass. Race was stopped for a little while, and we started again, and we were told to only ride 5 laps. There was not more time. Luckily, that was good luck for me, because on my 4th lap I did a front wheel puncture. I had to ride this Last track with punctured front wheel didn't go fast, I'll tell you that. I think I used about 24-25 minutes now. On the Freeride I have tubeless in the rear, but I do have a tube in the front tire, set to 10 psi. I don't know, maybe that was a little bit too low. Can you guys tell me what you guys are running for pressure in the front tire? This track is, you can get some flow, at least when it's dry like now, but there's really no place where you can sit down and rest while driving. So it's physically a really demanding race. Look at that. You can see another rider in front of me. Let's hope that's not a marshal. I think it was a marshal. Step downs like that when you can't see what you're gonna hit after them. I don't dare to jump them. There's a couple of them around this track. Alright, we are catching up with some riders finally. It's a fun hill. It's a bit technical. I think that is the guy who passed me when I missed that corner. Oh, someone is faster than me. Was the 5 kilometer mark. We are I think the track is about 7 kilometers long. I find it very easy to ride the same speed as the guys in front when I catch up with a group like this. Should have pushed on there past him, but too nice. I don't think my fingers works well enough to find the horn either. track is so much easier in the dry than in the wet conditions. Alright, that was one. Should have gone to the left there. I think that's faster, but we do avoid that part during wet conditions. I guess I remember that from last year. So until lap number 4 I was around 15th place, I think, of 32 in my class, and the class was divided by age for us. That's not elite racers, so I'm in the class 30-39. Ooh, I did a pass. Doing another one. Problem with the free ride, no one can hear you coming from the behind. Yeah, so totally 220 people attending this race. I'm not sure how I did totally, as we had a new timing system this year, but after the puncture I fell from 15th place and down to 22nd of 33. So of course not happy with the result, but yeah, 15th place, that I would have been happy with. Next year I won't have a tube in the front. I will have tubeless or moose. I'm not gonna drive 10 hours for a race and puncture. This is pretty steep. I think this is the place where I punctured and I crashed on the 4th lap. More rups. Getting close to the end of this track and lap. Alright, so if you made it so far, thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon again.